Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code and this is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Wednesday the 3rd of November 2021. Time just 4:15 GMT in the morning. Asian session coming to a close, European session firing up, our lunchtime, North American session. Right, yesterday Tuesday the 2nd then, we had a negative opposed driver in the pound at -133, front and back door flows mainly going into the yen at +1 and 1/8, into the dollar at +61, and the euro was a negative rock at -46, activity ±179. Over the week then, this is intra-week, from Monday the 1st to about 15 minutes ago, we've got a negative unopposed driver in the pound at -213, no backdoor flows, the opposing positive flows mainly going into the yen at +145, into the euro at +66, and the dollar's the positive rock at +2, and activity is ±213. Right, so yesterday we had pound weakness driving, and over the week this has manifested itself in full pound weakness in the complex. So the unopposed negative driver, and the opposing positive flows, which are obviously got to go somewhere, are going into the yen and into the euro to a certain degree, and the dollar's become a bit static, dynamically static. Right, intraday then, this is from the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a positive opposed driver in the yen, +42, front and back door flows mainly coming out the dollar at -39, out the euro at -15, and the pound is the positive rock at +12, activity ±54. So yesterday we had a soft pound, over the week we've had a soft pound, and now we've got a stronger yen driving marginally over a weaker dollar. So you've got dollar weakness and you've got a little bit of pound strength. So you could argue that the pound has hit a floor. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, we'll stop that and write up the flows. Right, we're back. We've written up the flows then. So euro is weak except against the dollar and the CAD. The yen is strong across the board. The pound is strong except against the yen. The Swiss is strong except against the yen, the pound and New Zealand. The CAD is weak across the board. The AUD is weak except against the euro, the dollar and the CAD. And the New Zealand is strong except against the pound and the yen. And the dollar is weak except against the CAD. So what have we got? We've got yen strength across the board. CAD weakness across the board, and you've got this dollars weak except against the CAD, which is fully weak. So you got CAD and dollar weakness, yen strength, and you've got pound strength, secondary pound strength there as well. Right, what's going to knock it about then? Well, we're starting to move into this busy period now. Wednesday, which is today the 2nd, we've got ECB Lagarde's speech. Who knows? ADP, employment change, often viewed as a precursor to NFP. Not a good indicator, but it shakes the markets up. And US service PMIs, and the big one tonight is FOMC minutes, rates decision and minutes. Right, and tomorrow, Thursday the 4th, we've got this Bank of England rates decision. So there's a lot of key events happening. Right, we'll stop it there and write up the asset classes and then do the final analysis. Right, we've written up the asset classes then. So US dollar index, it basically had this big pump up. It came right back. It's now 0.23 from the high. So it's 23% off the modelled high. Gold is basically 0.45 from the high. So it's above half marks. But it's pretty much 50%, and oil did a big break and it's just come back slightly. It's 0.18 from the high. It's 18% below its modelled high. Right, Wall Street, S&P Tech, they've all got the same look now. We've done this break and they're at or near the highs, so there's no divergence between any of these indexes particularly. Right, US 10-year in the bund, this is the price, remember. Big pump down in price, rising yields. Then we've had this bounce off the floor in price, so falling yields a little bit. So we've got US 10-year 0.29 from the floor, 29% bounce. and the bund 0.33, a third bounce off the floor, 33%. So yields are basically easing in the Eurozone and the US on a 10-year basis. Right, so copper, big chop, big break, and then it's come back and it's 0.545 from the floor, so it's below half marks. Copper's not really doing it at the moment. US steel, dirging around for ages, and now it's 0.47 from the high, so it's above half marks, but it's not really doing it either. So we've got that sort of situation. Right, let's get rid of this and then we'll do the final analysis. So like we say, we're now into this NFP week properly, really. Today, Wednesday, we've got ADP and a few other key events in the Fed later. Right, so let's grab this and see what's going on. Right, so right, I'll get the right end of the chalk. There we are. Right, so dollar, euro, yen, pound in the majors, CAD, AUD, NZD, and then we've got the Swiss. Right, so later on, obviously, we've got this rates decision, the FOMC. We've got ADP leading into NFP on Friday. So that's pretty key events for the dollar. And we've got the pound. We've got Thursday. We've got this rate decision on Thursday. So that's sort of boxing us in on major events. Right. Oil, with regards to the CAD, oil's come off a little bit, but it's still nicely high. And the yen, we've got equities, we've got the equity transmission in the yen, and equities are basically at or near their highs. Wall Street, S&P Tech. So that's where we are. So if we look at the flows then, over the week then we've had a weak pound, and bear in mind we've got this Thursday rates decision, BOE, Bank of England, and the pound in the Asian session is starting to show signs of life. It's the positive rock, so that's interesting. And in the Asian session we've got dollar weakness now. Now the dollar index is basically sort of where is it? It's got this sort of look to it, and it's now starting to think about turning down again. But the likelihood is the dollar's not going to be the main driver, because we've got all the until some of this day. The ADP is going to be quite significant to shake up the markets. But the pound, you see, has been sucking up the majority of these negative flows, and the likelihood is we're going to see a bounce in the pound. So the pound is likely to be driving. So in a positive manner. Equities are at or near their highs. There's no great reason to suggest that equities are going to come off particularly. So the yen is likely to be negative via the equity transmission. So a lot of this positive flows are going to go out the yen, and that leaves you with the dollar and the euro. Now the dollar has got potential to come up. So the dollar is a potential riser, but it's all very dependent on what's going on. So we can't really say. That's a sort of question mark. And the euro, likewise, the euro will be obviously dependent on what happens to the dollar to a great degree. So there's another question mark there. So what can we say with any sort of credibility or reliance? What we can say is we're probably going to see a bit of pound strength. So and the likelihood is we're going to see, unless something horrible happens to equities, you're going to see further yen weakness. So that's the key there. And if you get yen weakness, you're likely to get commodity currencies. And if you look at the commodity currencies, the AUD is a bit soft, but the New Zealand is likely, and they've just had a good strong unemployment report, so the New Zealand is likely to come up. So you've got New Zealand strength and pound strength, and yen weakness. And the Swiss, well, depending on what's going on, Swiss is likely to be neutral. It'll probably be taking some backdoor flows. So that's where we are then. Look out today for New Zealand strength in the complexes, pound strength, and yen weakness. So you want to be selling the yen complex maybe against the pound and the New Zealand. So New Zealand yen and pound yen long. So those two are of interest this morning, but bear in mind you're trading into the teeth of NFP week, so just bear that in mind. But from a flow perspective and a technical perspective, long New Zealand yen and long pound yen have got a lot going for them. So I hope that was useful. Thanks for watching. See you again tomorrow. Goodbye.